I wonder. Fix the wires on. Okay, hello everybody. Hello, SL Mars. See, anything happening yet on the YouTube? I'm a little early today. I know normally I would start about an hour from now, but ooh, it's been a day. Actually, I'm so used to putting these on. My headphones right now are messed up. One of the cables up here messing up. So naturally, yeah, gonna have to probably invest in new ones or something. Kind of sucks. I've had these headphones forever though. These V-Modas, they have been so good to me. But, you know, it's time to get rid of them, I guess. I mean, I probably had these headphones a good, like, 12 or 13 years. It's crazy. Let's see. Finally made it to one. Hey, Daniel. Thank you. I finally made it to one as well. At least, early one. A lot of people are probably really expecting me to be, what is it saying? YouTube not receiving enough video to maintain. Anyone? All right, we got 12 people in. Let's get a funny face up. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. That'll probably bring in some more people. All right, there. That's all it takes. Just that. We'll see. Anyway, how is everybody doing today? Probably bring in some more people. There we go. How's everything? Very rarely do I look at the stream outside of this stream thing. Huh. Not bad. I'm streaming in 1440. Wow. Pretty good on 1440. Cool. Can't complain about that. Let's see. We got 16 people in here right now. Huh. There's
And to distract malware for a
ready. Huh. Odd. I don't know. I don't know what else going on. Anyway, how y'all doing? Hey, M. Summers. Hey, Autism. Hello, SC. Kiwi. Good to see you. Glad to see you guys here. Absolutely. Okay, now it's jumping up now. Weird. Took a little longer today. Wonder what's up with YouTube. A little strange. But oh well, guys. Let's go ahead and, I guess let's go ahead and get started, right? Why not? We'll have some fun here. Well, or I could, hold on. I could kind of go over some other stuff for a little bit as well. Like, this was really funny. I thought this was very funny when Andrew Colvett said, now do conservative black women. Thought that was a very funny thing. I bet a lot of people in here are mad at Andrew Colvett, though, for making it funny. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. That's really creepy, actually. All right. I think Shane Gillis should dress up as MLK's wife and dance around. That would actually be very funny, to be honest. Not gonna lie. That would make me laugh. Watch how fast they try to cancel him. Yeah. Also, Drewski was accused in... Oh. Was he really? I know nothing about any of that, so I'll have to freshen myself up on it. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. I wonder what people said, actually, about it here. Drewski, the man who wasn't even popular in 2018, was invited to a Diddy. Wait, really? Did this guy make a big ol' oopsie? Weird. So is Trump an absolute... Okay. So Trump was also at the Diddy parties? Okay. That's really, really great. I don't know. I think it's, at this point, trying to throw anything out of the files at anybody is kind of pointless because it just points to everywhere. So, I don't know. I think it's silly. Hey, Benjamin. Let's see here. Hey, Mary Jean. Man, let's see. If Michelle Obama's husband had died and a white comedian had mocked her, they would be canceling rightly so. I don't know if it's rightly so. I wouldn't be canceling anyone necessarily. You know what I mean? When people like just mock, it's distasteful. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit there and say like it's it's not something I appreciate. Are there funny aspects to it though? Yeah, there are, and it's not promoting violence. So I don't know. I'm not that crazy strict. You know what I mean? I don't think we should be canceling people based on that. I definitely think we should get people fired who incentivize violence, though. That's a little bit of a different story. You know? Like, it's a little crazy to, to promote violence and say, and put that in a good light. That's kind of crazy. Whenever you see, like, oh, look, Charlie Kirk leaned left. It's like, dude was literally assassinated. Like, that's not funny. That's you know what I mean? Like, that's a real serious line that was crossed. You know what I mean? It's a dangerous situation at that point. That's when people need to stop. You know what I mean? People need to take it back a step, not like encourage it. But that's just my opinion on it. I could be wrong still. It is what it is. I'll give opinions a lot of weight. Not much point to them. There's a point to them. It's a nice thing. It's a privileged thing to do. Is worry about opinion. But other than that, that's just what it is. Anyway, did Drewski video get more views than TPUSA's halftime show? Yes, Drewski video has racked up 80 million views. Wow. Well, okay, on X, though. If it was on YouTube, that would mean something. X, that just means people could scroll past it, and it gives it the view. You know what I mean? Like, this very insensitive of Drewski, for Christ's sake, this woman is still grieving her late husband. This dude, like, mocking it. Nigerians. I don't know if this dude's serious or not, because that's probably one of the most insulting cuts he could have done. You know what I mean? Sometimes people try to do nice things for others, and they turn out like that. Like, that's absolutely insane. That's insane to do. Man, I almost feel bad for this guy because I'm sure he's just trying to be nice, right? But it's so funny, you know what I mean? So funny that it's pretty much like an insult, almost. Unintentional insult. Conservative black women are busy. This is just cringe, really. Okay. Cringy. How did you know what I was doing next? How did you know I was doing that next? Possibly Drewski. I guess. I don't know. People are... All right. That's why you killed your friend. Think about that. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. So this guy's saying Drewski makes fun of everyone. That's why you killed your friend. Why? Because Charlie Kirk made fun of him. Is that what you're saying? And you blame him for killing Charlie Kirk? It's those accusations that come out. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Like, why are people throwing accusations out there? Like, what happened? It feels like we're not even living in America at all, Hey, from Australia? Hello. How's it going? It's awesome to have you here. Yeah, it's just unbelievably frustrating. I mean, people have lost their minds. They're so quick on the trigger to blame instead of try to figure out what actually happened at all. Like, just wait for the trial to happen. How is it this hard? I know it sucks. I know people want justice for Charlie right now, but they're letting their emotions just destroy them. Baron Jones, it doesn't work like that, but you could stay mad about it, though. Oh, okay, it doesn't work like that. He's trying to say that you only do one side of the aisle. That'll be disappointing. That'll be disappointing if he's just like, nope, never doing that. You know, never gonna cross the other side. We're only gonna make fun of one side. Huh. Alrighty, y'all ready for this? Let's watch some Candace Owens. Let's rip this Band-Aid off.
All right, you guys. Happy Thursday. We've got a lot going on today. We're going to go back very briefly to Fort Huachuca. That's fun. Some fort, as Andrew Colvett infamously said, couldn't have been more obvious right away. The amount of money they spent on that campaign to debunk Mitch immediately, so over the top. They were never successful at.
Mitch was never proven to be correct, though, so there's no need to debunk him. Candace, you've got this backwards. That's the problem with Candace Owens here. There is no needing to debunk Mitch Snow because he has never been proven. He has never proven a single claim that he has made. I don't need to debunk him. I'm just going to say I'm not going to believe him until there's evidence. It's really that simple. It's not difficult. He tells me he saw her at Fort Huachuca, saw this meeting take place, proved the meeting took place. I don't have to debunk the guy at all. It's crazy how easy my life is. It's unbelievably easy. My job, super duper easy. Super duper easy. Okay? I gotta grab this dog. Hold on. Oh. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Oh. There we go.
Doing that, the public remains curious whether or not he saw that security meeting take place. And Baron Coleman has discovered, and I have confirmed, that there was another plane that's associated with Turning Point USA that spent time at Fort Huachuca after the assassination. So Mitch's story is becoming increasingly more feasible. But big news.
Again, show us the proof first. You know what I mean? Oh, it's just becoming more feasible. Well, you didn't approach it like that. You came out and you said that Mitch Snow's story was good, and now you're trying to have to find stuff to justify the story. That's what's happening right now.
Exciting news. I believe we have at long last solved the mystery of the tarmac hug, thanks to the police scanner on September 10th in Provo, upon which the officers were discussing sending a team to pick up Erika. Look, these people are simply not going to get away with what they did to Charlie. Not if...
Okay, well, we'll hear it, and then we'll see what happens.
Drewski the comedian has anything to do with it. I will be reacting to his viral skit later.
I'm glad that you have time to react to that skit, Candace, instead of just showing proof. Like, you just space everything out at once. It's wild.
Welcome back to Candace.
Crazy how often she does that. Let's get through that song.
Knick-Knack, a dissolvable nicotine pouch that is perfect.
Boy, did I ever think she was making a slur. Have I said that before? I feel like I'm having a little deja vu on this.
Shall we? Because I made a statement yesterday that I felt confident that we could rely on Frank Turek's estimation that Erika arrived at the hospital at 4 p.m. Okay, that was one of my we don't know, but we know things, right?
Again, now it's exactly like I predicted she was going to do for this episode. She was going to make it to where he said hardcore. Erika Kirk showed up at 4 p.m. He never said that. He didn't even come close to saying that. That's not what he said. You even repeated him, and then you changed the words right there and said, 4 p.m. sharp. That's what you did. You were like, they couldn't have showed up at 4 p.m. sharp. He said, I don't know. I think it was around 4 p.m. I'm paraphrasing for the most part, but he said those exact words. He said, I don't know, around 4 p.m., I think, or something like that. You know what I mean? I've already got it recorded from today's episode and yesterday's episode. I showed it twice. And I did it in the live stream. So it's like, yeah, not difficult. Not difficult to hear his words. Not difficult to know what he meant. It was sometime around 4 p.m.
We have common sense. Military men keep time. He's not going to be off by an hour and a half.
Jeez, Candace, you are really genuinely stupid. I can't even take that serious. Are you kidding me? Do you think the sun sets the same way in Utah that it does in New Jersey? Do you think that where do you think he learned how to tell military time like that in general? The dude isn't always looking at his watch. The sun sets in different places differently. There's daylight savings time that comes into play. It's completely ridiculous that she thinks this dude has an internal clock ticking in his head, second by second. That's not how it works, Candace. And the guy literally said, I don't know. I think it was around 4 p.m. That's what he says, Candace. He admitted he didn't know. And he said, I think. You're not doing a lot of that, Candace.
And I was right, because a few of you guys sent us tips that actually there was a recording on the police scanner from that day wherein it is mentioned that a Sergeant Dupay was going to pick up Erika Kirk from Provo Airport. So let's take a listen to that.
Confirming this channel secure.
Negative. Provo main channel is not secure.
My apologies. I was just saying, is service channel able to be scanned, or can I give information over this channel?
You're good. We unpatched the service channel, so this is just Provo service. Go ahead and talk.
This will be info for IC. Myself and Sergeant Dupay are en route to Provo Airport. Victim's wife is arriving at 3:30.
2J436.
436. Go ahead.
Was there a ATL sent out?
Okay, and obviously we just have AI telling you what it said there. When they say 436, they're not talking about the time. They're probably...
Yeah, no, we got that. 436 was his number. We understand. So they're saying 3:30 is when it's arriving. Now, maybe, but I didn't hear anything about Erika Kirk being in there. So we have it September 10th, Provo Police Scanner. Is this specifically for Erika Kirk? Is that what they said? Let's hear it again, because I didn't hear that.
Negative.
I'm going to
Provo
speak
main
through
channel
it.
is not secure.
My apologies. I was just saying, is service channel able to be scanned, or can I give information over this channel?
You're good. We unpatched the service channel, so this is just Provo service. Go ahead and talk.
This will be info for IC. Myself and Sergeant Dupay are en route to Provo Airport. Victim's wife is arriving at 3:30.
Okay, it says victim's wife, so it probably is her. But, I don't know. 3:30? What does that even mean?
436. Go ahead.
Was there a ATL sent out?
What's an ATL? Let me see. What is... Attempt to locate. Directive used by law enforcement, dispatchers, or officers to find a missing person. Okay. Well, I kind of wish that wasn't cut out. Okay. So he said around 4. The plane was landing. So Candace was wrong about which plane was landing. And she said Erika couldn't have landed until like 4:40. And literally, Frank Turek said that she arrived around 4 o'clock. I don't know. I'm going to have to take a look at her supposed flight logs now.
Okay, and obviously we just have AI telling you what it said there. When they say 436, they're not talking about the time. They're probably talking about the police cruiser number or whatever. But 3:30 is when that pickup is scheduled for. So basically we can conclusively confirm that Erika did not wait an hour on the tarmac for Andrew's alleged plane to...
I don't think she ever said she waited for him, though. I don't think that happened that way. I have no idea. No clue. Maybe he got there earlier, too. You're not exactly showing his plane. You're showing what you believe was his plane. So, I don't know.
Land at about 4:40 p.m., right? 3:30 was the pickup. So this only makes sense if Andrew was aboard Charlie's plane with Erika. Okay? For some reason, maybe I had and I just forgot, but for some reason I feel as though I did not consider the most obvious answer to how this tarmac hug took place. Gratefully, you guys at home are smarter than me a lot of the times, and you can see what's right in front of me sometimes when I cannot. The tarmac hug obviously had to take place in Scottsdale. It's the only thing that makes sense. Of course it did. It did not happen in Provo at all. It happened in Scottsdale. And I feel tremendously confident about that now because of what Andrew said to me on the phone. He said he was alone on the plane. But he also said how he had acquired all of this anxiety. He said everyone was messaging him, asking what was going on, and he had no one to talk to. And this is the most crucial part. He told me that he didn't know what was going on. So he's fielding all of these questions from people, myself among those people, by the way, regarding Charlie, and he didn't know what was going on with Charlie. He didn't know the answer. Well, there was only 1 hour, not even 1 hour, when he didn't know what was going on with Charlie, okay? Before they were all made aware, and I mean like the core team, the infrastructure at Turning.
I mean, what is your point? This is literally like squeezing blood out of a turnip. I don't care about any of this. How does this prove anything that you're talking about? How does this prove anything about them like ending Charlie and betraying him? If the hug ended up ending up in Scottsdale, like, or something like that, wherever the crap they flew into. I don't know. Did they ride together? I don't see why they wouldn't, per se. Does it matter? Can you guys inform me exactly what that would change? I'm not entirely sure what that would change about this.
Point that Charlie had died. We got about a 40-minute window where he did not know what was going on, where he couldn't answer questions. The only time frame that he didn't know what was going on with Charlie was in that immediate aftermath of Charlie being shot, which is the exact time that the Santa Barbara flight takes off and heads for Scottsdale. Andrew Colvett was aboard this flight. I feel very confident stating that. If he comes out and says he wasn't, I'll adjust, right? But looking at...
Okay. Well, that's pretty convenient. If he comes out and says he wasn't, you'll adjust. All right. So he just has to come out and say he wasn't. That's a good amount of power. I think she's going to try and call him a liar at that point or something. But I don't know. I just don't know what that changes. You know what I mean? Just framing. What is her point that, like, they got a detail wrong or something, or told something the wrong way? I don't know. I have no idea. Like, maybe they thought it would be weird if they flew together, and they didn't want people to know and suspect that they were, like, having an affair or something. I don't know. It'd be pretty stupid, right? I don't know if they would think about those things. Maybe they were having an affair. Who actually knows? I have no freaking clue. But at the end of the day, we're kind of trying to figure out who ended Charlie, right? I don't think that's the way they would have done it. I don't know. I mean, they could have just had a divorce. I don't think it would be something like that. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, the way that she's going. I don't know. I don't know what it changes. Find me some evidence that, Tyler Robinson wasn't involved. Find me evidence that literally Israel was involved. Like, it's just all over the place at this point. What she's found out is maybe they actually ended up having a tarmac hug in Scottsdale. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting, Candace. I'm very fascinated by that. Now, if it points to them having an affair and you could prove it, okay, then let's go that route. But again, maybe don't release this kind of information before you actually have the hard proof, because you're making accusations now.
All the facts. Let's think about it. The flight takes off 5 minutes after Charlie is shot, okay? I feel we can bet that Andrew was on it because
you're probably right.
he is messaging a bunch of people. Like I said, I was one of the people that he was messaging. I messaged him at 12:40 Mountain Time, so a little under 20 minutes after Charlie got shot. And
Notice
I said,
she's not
please say
using
he's
Utah time anymore. No more Utah time. Isn't that interesting?
okay. And Andrew Colvett replied and said, I don't know. Shot for sure. And then at 1:19 p.m. Utah time, Andrew said to me, he has a pulse, but I know.
Did she just say Utah time? Okay. Like, at this point, Candace, come on. Like, let's grow up a little.
Nothing else. So he doesn't know anything else at this time. This is the only plane that Andrew could have been on, whereupon he did not know. Okay? We have to stress that. This is the only plane. The plane from Santa Barbara to Scottsdale is the only plane that fits the description of Andrew not knowing what is going on with Charlie. Now, Erika claims that he was on the flight that landed at 4:30 p.m. into Provo. She's lying.
Exactly.
Erika's always lying, okay? And she's definitely lying about that because Andrew would have known that late that Charlie was dead. He would have known what was going on. That could not have been the flight that Andrew Colvett was on because the entire world at that moment knew what was going on with Charlie Kirk. They knew that Charlie Kirk had passed away. And Andrew actually himself confirmed how soon he found out. He put it at about between 30 and 40 minutes after Charlie had been shot, which is about the time frame that Erika is going to learn that Charlie did not make it, was around the time that he learned that Charlie had died. Take a listen.
How long did it take before you knew he had died?
There was I don't know, I want to say probably.
I'd like to actually know where these guys are at, because I'm just kind of like fascinated with this dude's setup. This dude is an actual, like, I'm pretty sure is a musician. He is using some crazy equipment here, and like studio monitors he's got up in the corners here. Kind of a wild setup he's got. I like this. Is there like a console through this glass? Man, that'd be sick. What are they setting up here? Sorry, I just kind of had to admire it for a second.
30 or 40 minutes.
Okay.
So there was a report.
Fast.
There was a report. Yeah, it was before. I knew before Trump put the Truth Social out.
Between 30 and 40 minutes.
Hold on. Let me hear that again. He said he knew before Trump put the Truth Social out.
There was I don't know, I want to say probably 30 or 40 minutes.
Okay.
So there was
Probably 30 or 40 minutes. So not a direct answer again. She just goes with it directly, like that's the fact. Could have been 10 minutes. He could have felt like it took longer. Could have been an hour. Could have felt like it was shorter, depending on, how that drama set in. Candace, like, unless they're giving exact numbers, please stop saying they're giving exact numbers. It's not difficult. Like, you don't have to play stupid.
report.
Fast.
There was a report. Yeah, it was before. I knew before Trump put the Truth Social out.
Between 30 and 40 minutes. Okay. 34 minutes after Charlie.
He said probably. As in, probably not as well. Probably so, probably not. Another word for maybe. Pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Charlie gets shot. He knew that Charlie did not make it. So the story goes that Andrew took off right after Charlie got shot from Santa Barbara. He received the news while he was in the air that he did not make it, that Charlie died.
Okay. Anyway, Kiwi, if Erika and Charlie's marriage was on the rocks or an affair was going on, why then were they trying for a third baby? Yeah, exactly. So Erika is always lying and Candace isn't. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how Candace wants it framed, right? That every single thing Erika does is indeed a lie and is indeed fake. I mean, she literally thinks Charlie fell for a fembot. That's what Candace Owens thinks. She thinks Charlie Kirk fell for a fembot. Like, just straight up. It's crazy. Like, she's been watching just a little bit too much Austin Powers.
He therefore, being on this plane by himself, had a lot of pent up
Oh,
emotion.
also, genuinely thank you for that, by the way. Just wanted to let you know that. Seriously, thank you.
Just like
I
he told me,
appreciate it.
and no one to speak to aboard the flight. Some heavy news to take and to accept and to digest while you're aboard the flight. And then he touches down in Scottsdale. And Erika is the first person that he sees when the plane doors open. And he
That's probably true.
releases all of that pent up energy, people fielding, asking questions, is he okay? And then finally learning that Charlie Kirk is dead in a hug with Erika. This is why Erika cannot answer whether or not his wife was on the plane.
I mean, at the end of the day, okay, I don't really understand the point of them lying if they even were lying. Okay, let's put it this way. Like, why would it be weird if he was like, hey, Eric and I jumped on the same plane and we came right on down? Would anybody have even questioned that? You know what I mean? So that's why I don't understand why they would even lie about it. I don't see why they would. I don't know that they would. I don't know that they did lie about it. I don't know. I'm going to have to take a look at his actual plane, when he left, when he claimed he left. I mean, she's kind of tying pieces together, saying, oh, well, there's only this possible flight or this possible flight. But I don't know that that's accurate. We would need to know exactly which plane he is confirmed to be on for that to kind of work. So it's just a weird, I don't know, it's a weird nothing burger. I don't really care because this doesn't prove anything.
Because this hug took place in Scottsdale, and Erika's wife was not, Andrew's wife was not present for that.
She's probably not with her kids.
So I am surmising that the TPUSA core crew all gathered at Scottsdale Airport. Okay. They all met. That was a meeting point at Scottsdale Airport before or after Charlie Kirk got shot. And let me tell you why this deeply matters, why I was not letting this go, okay? Why I'm like a dog with a bone on this detail. Actually, I'll allow Baron Coleman to tell you why it matters.
Why does this matter? Great question. Here's why it matters.
Okay.
Because if Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, then there was a plot to kill him. That's why it matters. If Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, there was
That's a heck of an if. Hopefully he can back that. You know what I mean?
a plot to kill Charlie Kirk, and Andrew knew about it. That's why it matters. In my opinion. It is
In my
evidence
opinion. Nice
that
preface.
might have been the case, and that they've been lying to us the entire time. That's why it matters.
Precisely, Baron.
I mean, maybe. Is there any proof that he actually did leave before Charlie was shot, though? I mean, he would have to leave there at like... What time would that be? Because I think it was noon my time, right? So, would it have been like 11 o'clock there? Wait. Central. Oh, okay, good. I'll use this Google. Let's see. What time was Charlie Kirk hit in Central Time? I don't need extra. Back and go. Let's see. What time would it have been Central? So, okay. So it would have been 1:23 p.m. Okay, so it was noon. Okay, so he would have had to have left. Would it be a 3-hour flight from 12:30? If they got on a plane at 12:30, would they get there at 3:30? That's the question, right? Let's see. How long to fly from Scottsdale to Provo? It is an hour and 40-minute flight. They got there at 3:30. Both of them. And it's an hour and a half flight. I mean, okay. I'm not even kidding. Like, I mean, here. Hour and 40 minutes. They could have left literally at 2:30 and still got there. Well, not 2:30. They could have left at 2 p.m. and still got there by 3:30. That's not even close, Ken. This wasn't hard to figure out. Wow, a quick Google search. How long would it take him to fly there? Yeah, it says average duration is 1.5 hours, so usually an hour and a half. So it's an hour and 33 minutes to an hour and 50 minutes, which the median would be then an hour and 40, probably. So I don't know. I think they had probably plenty of time to get there. Kind of crazy. Like, I've never... You know what's a fun fact about this, too? I've never flown in a plane before. Ever. Not a day in my life. I've never been to an airport before, other than whenever I did 2 months of security over at American Airlines. So, yeah. Never even really been... I've never been inside... Well, no. I did get to go inside the airport once for a little kind of tour. But, not much. Not much at all. So, yeah. It's, oh, I had to do that to get a badge. That's right. I got a certain badge to be able to cross over on the landing strip. So I had to go out on the side road of the landing strip and make sure that nobody was coming through, you know. But what's funny about it is I wasn't, like, connected to the tower or anything like that. So I just had to, like... Okay, I'll have to tell the story of the M16s, like the 3 M16 guys that would always try to mess with us and stuff, but that's a different time. Anyway, long story short, all that to say, I've never flown, I've never done any of that, and I figured this out in about 5 minutes, or 5 seconds. It was just like, oh, how long would it take him to fly? Not very long? Oh, okay. So what time did their flight take off then? I mean, it's all within the order. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty silly to even suggest it. But we'll see if she addresses it.
It matters because it suggests, it does not conclude, okay, but it suggests certainly that there may have been some sort of a foreknowledge, because for what other reason would Andrew be sitting on a tarmac just about to fly to Scottsdale when Charlie gets shot? For what other reason would he be taxiing on a runway? Because that's what it would have had to have been. I think it takes off 5 minutes after Charlie shot. So you have to be taxiing, right, when Charlie gets shot. Now, if I was playing devil's advocate, and it's good to play that, but you should remember that you are therefore advocating for the devil, I would say, well, turning points in Arizona. Maybe, he did the first hour of his show live, and maybe he had a meeting or something. His PR team's there, a lot going on. It's the beginning of the tour. Maybe he was just actually traveling to Scottsdale. But if that was the case, they wouldn't be hiding it. This would not be something to hide or to lie about, right? You would just be like, oh yeah, I hugged Erika on the tarmac when I got to Scottsdale. It's crazy. It's crazy coincidence. I was like flying to Scottsdale and Charlie got shot. You come right out with that. So yeah, I am suggesting that they all met up at Scottsdale Airport. My very strong opinion is that is what transpired on that day based on the evidence that is sitting before us. Because
he could have literally flown in to Scottsdale in an hour. Where was he at before? Let me see. Where was he in Scottsdale? Was he even in Scottsdale? Like where was he at? Can y'all tell me? Where was he at? Just out of curiosity. See what you guys tell me. What do you guys know about it? Yeah, that printer on I don't know. The printer on her shirt's weird. The print, yeah, it's a very weird, ropey, weird. I don't know what it is. What is it? E. coli? Is that her E. coli sweater? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't ask if he was at the event. Okay. President UV event. Yeah, mainstreamed. Okay. Yeah, they didn't even pronounce him until it was like 2:40 p.m. that he was that Charlie had passed. Alibi. Yeah, what was his alibi? Some point to him being in Scottsdale or elsewhere, not Utah, and question why he wasn't at the event with Kirk. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I don't know where he would have been first. Do you guys know? Anybody know? He lives in Santa Barbara, California. Okay. Maybe he was in, I don't know, Santa Barbara. Okay, let's see. To take how long? Oh, really? Wow. Well, I'll be darned. From Santa Barbara to Phoenix, it's also an hour and a half. He had plenty of time. If he would have gotten the call immediately at 12:30 or 12:23, hey, Charlie's been shot. You need to get here. On a private jet. Do they fly private jets? I take it they fly private jet, right? Does Andrew Colvett fly by private jet? Is that how they do it? Is that their planes? Like, is that their legit planes? I take it that they fly private jet, right? So yeah, it's one of those things to where they had plenty of time to get there at 4:40, to be there by like 4 o'clock or so, to get there at 3:30 even. Literally, that's 3 hours. They would have had time if they jumped, and went. Maybe he did fly into there, but how far is it from Santa Barbara? Like, I don't know. It depends on the times they left. It depends on the planes they took. She's going to have to show that. That's kind of the point. So we see that it's possible to do. The next phase is literally showing exactly what aircraft he was on. She's going to have to do that. Like, why release this information now? Why not wait until you have all your ducks in a row to be like, I know exactly where he was at? Just doesn't make sense. I hate this, you know?
I will tell you what did not happen. Andrew did not sit in Santa Barbara for 3.5 hours twiddling his thumbs before then finding a plane that could get him to Provo. It's pretty easy to get a private jet. That's a nonsense narrative. A nonsense narrative. Erika, similarly, did not wait until 4:30 for him to arrive at the tarmac and then hug him on the tarmac to greet him in Provo and then head to the hospital with him. We now know that officially did not happen. The timeline does not work because of what Andrew told me happened and what the police scanner is saying about.
Yeah, maybe they all met up in Scottsdale and all flew together. It would be a very company-like thing to do. You know what I mean? Is he live in Phoenix, though? I mean, he may live in Phoenix, and maybe they all got on the same plane. I don't know. It's not exactly a crazy... It's not crazy to imagine. Doesn't really mean a lot.
When Erika was picked up. So what is much more likely is that they met at the Scottsdale airport. All of them, they communicated in person, perhaps in the unmarked building. And then they all traveled together to Provo aboard Charlie's plane.
Or they all got the call. They said, hey, Charlie's been hit. Anybody want to ride on my plane with me? We're going to the hospital. You got 10 minutes. Okay. Everyone who made it within the time frame for them to fuel up, do the checks on the aircraft, all that stuff. They went and did all their stuff. Gave them plenty of time to get there because it's not like Erika Kirk was like, let's go. All right, in the plane, go. That's not exactly how planes work. Got to do checks and stuff on them. They have to do a bunch of stuff and make sure that it's safe to fly. You can't get around the safety check just because an emergency happens. You got to still do all your basic, checks on your aircraft. And then it gets out there. And everybody who managed to probably show up in time probably jumped on the plane and flew right on in. Not exactly that difficult, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't think it's that crazy. I think it's probably pretty easy for that to have happened. Yeah, the Drewski video itself isn't funny. I did laugh whenever he made the black cop look over, though. But that's, not exactly related to what it was. He put a funny thing within a, video that was kind of distasteful, in my opinion. But, hey, at the end of the day, I'm not going to dog on anybody trying to be funny. Because they're not trying to be mean. That's the point of being funny. They're trying to be fun with an E. So at the end of the day, I'm just like, whatever. I don't have to like it, so I'm just not going to watch it. I'm not going to give it the time of day. I think it's distasteful, but, it's better than people threatening to end each other. It's better than people literally, making fun of somebody who got assassinated. That's all I really have to say about that for the most part.
Cell phones off. That's my theory. And I'm going to put out another APB here regarding who Charlie's pilot was, okay? I know that his first name is Jamie, but that's all I know. I think he might be from Texas, and I would like to know more about Jamie. I would like to reach out to Jamie. Does anybody know
Joe Rogan's
more information about who Jamie the pilot is? Because I think this would be crucial information. A crucial person for me to learn more about and for me to be able to reach out to. I think that's an unidentified character here. So please email us at more tips.
I bet she does the weird fake laugh. I bet she laughs at things that aren't funny. I bet she doesn't even laugh at the black cop shifting his eyes over. What do you all want to bet? Because I bet it's going to be la racism. You know what I mean?
At CandaceOwens.com if you know who the pilot Jamie is. I will leave no stone left unturned. Will he talk to me? Probably not, but I'm going to try. This means that we now need to go back and revisit that minute-by-minute timeline that I created way back when.
But here's the thing. Actually get some proof next time before you decide to release something. It's really annoying. Minute-by-minute timeline. Okay. Danny Phillip, Charlie's assistant, calls Mikey McCoy. Okay. Charlie gets hit. Charlie is brought to the SUV by security detail. Mikey McCoy calls Elizabeth McCoy. They stay on the phone for 10 minutes because they do an all, three-way call type, 8-way call or whatever. Blake Neff calls his mother. The call will last 45 seconds. Okay, that's great. Blake Neff's phone call ends with his mother. Okay. I'm sure he told his mom all about the plan too, right? You know, probably. Mikey McCoy adds Erika to the call. I bet, yeah, it was all planned by Blake Neff's mother. Let's do that. Why not? Blake Neff's mother is the one who was behind it all, as it turns out. Because Charlie wasn't giving him enough pay. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. That's a script. There you go, Candace. I can make a better plot line than you. How's that? We'll run with that one. All right, Mikey McCoy adds Erika to the call. Mikey McCoy drops Erika from the phone call. Okay, now hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. When she prefaces this with Mikey McCoy calls Elizabeth McCoy, and they stay on the phone for 10 minutes, at this minute mark, it's like, how does this take place for 10? They will stay on the phone for 10 minutes, and then later on kind of adds it into like 12:26, so 2 minutes later, it's a big 8-way call, and she's busted it up into all these parts for some. You notice how she does that? It leads people to kind of think that this guy was just on the phone for 10 minutes before he contacted Erika. You notice how she does that stuff? Pretty sneaky. This is how she literally tricks stupid people into believing this stuff. Right here. You know, just sneaky little things like this. Like, on this line you read here, so you're like, okay, he was on the phone with her. They're going to come to that conclusion. That he was on the phone with his girlfriend for 10 minutes before he called Erika Kirk. Kind of crazy, right? Oh, why does she only attack white people? Really, when there has been someone else other than white people? Like Somali fraud and all that. Yes, no, she's supporting the Somali fraud. She tried calling out Nick Shirley, and she got absolutely chewed apart. He didn't play. Did you see Cam Higby's tweet on her, by the way? Actually, I should have pulled this up. Let me see. Actually, I'll just... Cam... This is great. This is some good stuff right here. Nick Shirley puts his life on the line for the story. Candace ruins other people's lives to make up a story from the comfort of her home. Beautifully said, Cam. This dude deserves all the followers. Like, this dude does some serious, serious work. You know what I mean? This dude puts in legitimate, hard work exposing fraud in the United States, and Candace is trying to tear him down. Now, she didn't name Cam Higby, but Cam Higby is the other dude on the ground. This dude looks so scarily like a dude that I graduated high school with. It's insane. His first name, I won't say his last name, but his first name was Michael. He was on my football team. And he looks exactly like this dude. It's insane. But anyway, this dude's doing absolute incredible work with Nick Shirley. And, I mean, these guys are the real deal. You know? I make comfort videos from my home. I also work a full-time job in a factory, though. That's not exactly comfort, but whatever. You know? To each their own still. It's a lot more comfortable than going out on the streets and literally facing threat of getting punched in the face, stabbed, or shot every single day. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of journalism that's that level of dangerous is, well, I mean, Charlie found out, right? Charlie found out how dangerous it was. And then these guys jump right in his shoes and start doing the exact same thing. You know what I mean? It's pretty admirable because they saw what happened to Charlie and they still are deciding to go out there and do this. These guys deserve so much more following than Candace Owens does. It's sickening that he literally only has 414,000 followers compared to Candace Owens' 7 million. Now, yeah, I'm sure a few million of those are bots, but I mean, come on. The fact that she even has literally more than like quadruple their subscribers in real people, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Those dudes are doing so good work, you know?
Because it just shows you how implausible it is, how they are lying to us. This is massive. Turning Point USA is lying. They are lying about what transpired on that day. Okay? Our minute-by-minute timeline from, you know, leading up to when the shot is fired. And if you kind of get down, we can kind of go, these are like Mikey's immediate phone calls. We can go to the next page here. This is what I believe happened. I'm putting this out as my theory that Andrew departed from Santa Barbara, headed for Scottsdale. at approximately
okay, so
103.
she's also saying from Santa Barbara to Scottsdale. But yeah, we proved that he can do that. We proved that he could have flown in time to make it. It's definitely possible. But I don't know that he was in Santa Barbara at the time. Maybe he flew directly, though. I mean, maybe he flew directly from Santa Barbara to Provo. How long would that have taken? Let's see. Let's see. That would have would take how long? About 3 to 5 hours, it says, from Santa Barbara to there. So if she flew in and did that, yeah, I don't know. He couldn't have flown in, so yeah, he would have had to have gone to Scottsdale. If I had to guess, they all met up at Scottsdale. I don't know. Wait. That doesn't make any sense, though. Why would it take 3 to 5 hours to fly straight to Provo? Yet, if he were to fly to Scottsdale, it'd take an hour and a half, and then you would fly to... That makes sense. Maybe he was just trailing behind. You know what I mean? His jet touchdown, and then flew directly over to Provo after that, because that would have taken 3 hours. 3 to 5... Well, maybe it's 3 to... Maybe it didn't consider private jet. It didn't... Okay, it probably didn't consider the private jet aspect. How long for private jet from to Provo, Utah? Oh. Never mind. A private jet would take an hour to an hour and a half. Okay. Hold on. How long for a private jet to fly from to Provo, Utah? Okay, so it says about the same. An hour and 25 to an hour and 45 minutes for private jet. Okay, so it calculated for that, but it would only take an hour and a half for him to fly from Santa Barbara directly to Utah, Provo, Utah. So that's not crazy. That's really not crazy at all. So, I don't know. He could have definitely departed from Santa Barbara directly to Scottsdale, really at any time, and met her at 3:30. It's actually genuinely possible. Not that difficult to believe at all.
According to his memory, he learned that Charlie Kirk did not make it. That would track with Erika at the airport, Elizabeth's story. Erika told me, obviously, that she found out before they got onto the plane, or before they got on the plane. I don't know if she said just before, but she knew before she got on that plane. And we can see Andrew is then going to land into Scottsdale. I mean, yep, and have that tarmac hug with Erika.
Do we know that this is his plane? Like, for sure? Like, 100% sure? Let me see something, too. Because keep this in mind as well. There is a time zone difference between Mountain Time and Santa Barbara, California's time. I think, anyway. Yes, it is 4:27 there right now. 5:27 in Provo, Utah. So there is an hour discrepancy between that. Would his flight show him taking off at a different time than she would expect because she's not accounting for the time change? The Meridian line, not the Meridian line. What is it called? I'm losing my mind today. I'm so tired. I'm sorry, guys. Could Candace be wrong about, like, the time difference between California and Mountain Time in Utah? So that's what I'm wondering. I'm thinking Candace is getting that confused again because she can't read flight logs for crap. So that's what I'm thinking is happening right now. In my opinion, I think she is literally getting a time, like, a time zone. That's what I'm looking for. Man, I don't know why I could not think of time zone. She's getting confused by the time zone, I think.
And then there's this mysterious flight that I know nothing about, but I think it's relevant. We saw it today that departs from Page, Arizona for Provo, because I remember that Page, Arizona, that was that N888 flight that was very strange. it was also going back and forth from Page. So I just wonder what was going on in Page, Arizona on that day. Then we know that Marina Mines is going to ask Aubrey to draft the death statement. She says that Andrew was on a plane. I think actually he had his phone off. I think they had their phones off. Justin Strife is going to send the email that was drafted by.
I mean, she could think they had their phones off all day long. I mean, how is she going to possibly know that? That's a dumb statement, really. Who cares? I don't even think that. I don't think they had them on, off, or anything like that because I have no freaking clue. You know what I mean? I think they had their phones off. Okay, why? Why would they do that? That makes sense. But I think there's a part that she is, because look at this. 12:37, Andrew Colvett departs from Santa Barbara. That actually would be incorrect. It would be 11:37. He's an hour behind. They would have tracked him and plotted him literally probably at the time that is the current time in California, if I had to guess, right? Maybe not. But I don't think so. Let's see. Page, Arizona for Provo. I don't know which flight that is. I don't know. We don't know what planes they're in. And I don't think she's accounting for the time zone.
Aubrey announcing Charlie's death to the entire Turning Point USA staff at 2:27. 2:31, Charlie's plane, I believe with all of them on it, departs from Scottsdale and heads for Utah. At 2:40, President Trump announces that Charlie has died via a Truth Social post.
Okay.
And then that flight that is unidentified lands into Provo from Page at 2:48. And then we have from the police cruiser, from the police scanner, that Erika, Elizabeth and Tyler and Stacey Sheridan and co. are going to be escorted to Timpanogos Hospital. And what I will say is I don't believe Andrew went with them. I think Andrew waited for an hour on the tarmac for his wife. And I believe that 436 plane, as my memory serves, is that he said, yeah, of course I want you to come, to his wife, because that's just what I remember him saying. And
Oh, they were having some sort of affair or something. Man, his wife sure is staying quiet about it, isn't she? Imagine that, right? How are they keeping this all from the wife? That's what I'd like to know. I don't see that happening. I don't see how there could be so many moving pieces and somehow she not end up finding out from people that he's hanging around with or, anything like that. It just doesn't seem like that's very likely. But yeah, it would have been 11:37 where he was, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I think Candace isn't exactly thinking about that part.
Immediately thought his wife scrambled and went to Provo a bit later. I believe she then lands on that 436 plane from Santa Barbara. And then Andrew and her go to the hospital and go through a different entrance, the front entrance, and not the one that Erika and Elizabeth McCoy and Stacey Sheridan and Catherine Lowe Castro and Tyler Boyer went through. This is my thesis that I feel I have worked on with evidence and facts and putting things together, attempting to communicate, obviously, with Turning Point USA.
Well, yes. I mean, a lot of the stuff you have put in there is facts, but they're not necessarily directly connected to Erika Kirk or Andrew Colvett. We don't know exactly which planes they were on. Again, I mean, it's just what's funny. People need to pay attention to how Candace Owens phrases things. It's very, very easy to see that she is, very manipulative. Yes, there was this plane that took off at this time. Did it have Erika Kirk inside there or not? We have no idea. Absolutely no clue. The times, though, she thinks they're fact. I think she's off by an hour for Andrew Colvett. Unfortunately for her, I don't think she thought about that. Or she's just really dumb. Or she doesn't care.
But that has been sort of a dead end since they sent me the cease and desist. Yeah, I think this is correct. And it's problematic. At the very least, we can conclude that Erika and Andrew did not hug in Provo, which only leaves us with Scottsdale. Now,
Maybe.
It is incredible, by the way, to go back and to realize how many times Erika Kirk has lied. Just little lies that she told, and that
just little tiny lies, or she didn't remember properly because, she lost her husband. Probably didn't think about all that. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Let's say it happened in Scottsdale. Okay. And doesn't change a thing.
We keep catching, and my producer today caught that infamous New York Times article that she did, interview that she did immediately following Charlie's assassination, where
I hope
she
her kids are
welcomed
smarter
them,
than
the enemy of Charlie Kirk, into their condo and granted them the first interview of the aggrieved widow. Or there's tons of little mistakes that don't feel like mistakes to me. I do not believe, for all their faults, that the New York Times sat down and lied about what the widow told them. You would have to believe that to think that the New York Times made mistakes and Erika didn't give them wrong answers, right? Little things like when they say Erika was in the hospital with her mom. That's a lie.
Maybe. Actually, we have no idea. They might have written things down, I don't know, to maybe work with you or something like that, right? That's a conspiracy in itself, isn't it? I have no idea, though. I wouldn't accuse you of it, but it's a possibility. I don't know. I wouldn't sit there and outright say that they wouldn't mess something up. They're kind of known to do that, actually. I would say that CNN, whatever, Washington, whatever the crap, New York Post or New York Times, that's what I'm thinking of. New York Times or any place like that, they're kind of known to add things that shouldn't be there in their article. They're known to leave details out that should have been there. They've been known to just flat out lie in them. So, I don't know. I wouldn't give any of these publications like the benefit of the doubt, Candace. I don't know why you would. It's kind of weird, but all right. Yeah, we only built these platforms to literally destroy them, to destroy CNN and stuff like that, but now you want to give them credibility. That's fine, I guess.
Erika's mother was not in the hospital on September 10th. Erika's mother was at an opt-in, in general, the treatment sheet that's being referred to. Erika's mother goes to an opt-in treatment center.
God, who cares? Maybe they call it a hospital. Who actually cares?
The likes of which you see at IV places, tons of chairs around. The idea was to sort of double inflict the public with this concept of the widow who was just doing the right thing at the right time and was already in a hospital. And then with her mother who's dying, you're supposed to think her mother was dying. That was the purpose, I believe, of her posting on September.
I don't care what you believe. That was not the purpose of it at all. It wasn't the purpose. But you can believe what you want. Don't sit there and say that, this is a matter of fact, though.
Her 8th, she hadn't posted her mother in years. And suddenly she posts a video of her mother looking frail and sick. That is intentional. Okay? I'm tired of pretending that Erika...
Her mom is frail and sick, though. Like, you're literally acting like she's lying about, her sickness, and you have zero evidence to back that claim.
Was not using her Instagram to manipulate us. Okay? You don't go from, my mom doesn't want to be posted on Instagram... I don't post my mom on Instagram for 2 years, so I'm now going to post her in a...
I don't think she ever said that, but okay, proof.
Frail condition 2 days before Charlie gets assassinated. That feels manipulative to me, just like it feels manipulative that we were taken into Charlie's casket.
That's ridiculous, Candace. You know it's ridiculous. We all know it's ridiculous. This is sad. Oh, well, you just weren't posting about her before, and then you posted about it 2 days before to, prep for this. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. Okay. That's completely ridiculous, Candace.
Okay. She posts that, and the New York Times says she's in the hospital, so everyone runs with that. That's not true. Erika's mother was not in the hospital on September 8th. She was not in the hospital on September 9th, and she was not in the hospital on September 10th.
Can you prove any of that?
I can debunk that formally.
You have never debunked it formally, and you have never shown any proof of that whatsoever. Please show us the proof, Candace.
But they let that go for a reason.
Okay, so you're just going to not show. You're going to say, I've debunked it. I just have decided she wasn't there.
Well, then another little lie that Erika tells is...
Okay, so you just said that she lied about her mom being there, and literally you provide no proof. That's incredible. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what Candace does constantly. I could just go ahead and debunk that her mom was even there. She wasn't at the treatment place at all. She wasn't there. I've just decided And it's like, okay. I guess that's how the real world works, right? I've just decided I'm a billionaire now. So I'll just go ahead and quit my job. All right. Completely ridiculous. Guys, if you're new here, though, please give me a subscribe and give me a like. I appreciate it so much. More likes mean, stream goes out to more people and whatnot. Seriously, thank you all so much for being here.
Is that at least the reporter reports that Erika found out that Charlie was dead while she was airborne. This is a direct quote from the article. Now, mind you, if a journalist, and New York Times would have had a recorder there, obviously, but if a journalist gets something wrong, you can just contact them and say, you recorded this wrong. This article has never...
She probably didn't read it. I don't know.
Never been corrected. Okay?
Okay.
It says, Mr. Kirk's chartered plane traveled back to Scottsdale to ferry his wife to Provo. He was pronounced dead as she was airborne. I'm looking at the clouds and the mountains. Ms. Kirk recalled those surreal hours. It was such a gorgeous day, and I was thinking, this is exactly what he last saw. Do you think that the New York Times reporter made that up? He was pronounced...
It's a good possibility. Decent possibility, actually. For all I know, there's some sort of campaign going on in the background. Nice little conspiracy, if you will, Candace, of them muddying little tiny things for you to pick up and get on. I mean, I'd like to know exactly who sent this to you and how did you come across all these little inconsistencies here. These are such little tiny detail, right? Of every single time she's ever mentioned anything, right? It's interesting. It's almost like it was probably sent to her. Maybe not, though. Maybe she's really just been saving every single article. But I do find it interesting because she hasn't mentioned any of this for 6 months. You know what I mean? So somebody clearly sent these to her. And it makes me wonder if it's like the news articles themselves going, hey, the people working for it, and they kind of have this little stash for it, and they're like, hey, we've got all these edited up for you. Look at all these different things. I don't know if Erika Kirk would bring this up or not. Probably better for them to just be quiet in general. Like, you don't really want to, how would I put it? You don't want to interrupt your enemy in the middle of them making a mistake. Or maybe they did it, right? Maybe all these inconsistencies are coming out because Candace is right. I just really doubt it because, again, Candace never provides proof.
Dead while she was airborne. Do you think that no, it is the most crucial detail. You're a journalist. You go in, you're going, I have the biggest.
Yeah, you're right, Candace. CNN doesn't lie. They don't, no news media, mainstream news media guys. Look at how hard she's literally simping for mainstream news. That's crazy.
Story since 1963. I'm sitting down with the Jackie Kennedy of 2025, right? I have the biggest story, and I'm going to mess up this detail. When you ask, where were you? That's like the first question you ask. Where were you when you got the news that your husband was dead?
Yeah, God knows, CNN, all them, they don't make mistakes.
You think the journalist messed up? I say no. I say if a journalist was told that Erika was on a plane.
Okay. Well, I don't care what your opinion is, really.
Could you go back, Dom, and pull me back up the minute-by-minute timeline so we can see what time that would mean she found out? Right? 2:31 p.m.
Oh, we're still on
Utah
this.
time.
Great.
Just 9 minutes before President Trump. No, that's not true. It's just false. It's not even what Erika told me to my face. It's not even what Erika told me to my face. She said, which more closely mirrors what Elizabeth McCoy said.
Why didn't you bring this up before? Why didn't you ever tell us that Erika told you a different time to your face? Like, literally, you could have told us that back in December when you were face-to-face with her? Why are we just now finding out that Erika told you she was there at a different time? Face-to-face. That's a really convenient time for you to remember. Has Candace ever brought this up before? That Erika lied directly to her face about the time she was there? Just out of curiosity? Really genuinely curious about that.
That she found out. Elizabeth McCoy
Putting her
said
on face
right
on
when she
laptop
got
is
to the
weird.
airport.
I agree.
This is like an hour and a half difference, okay? This is crazy. You can't just make stuff up. And Elizabeth McCoy similarly reflected the New York Times version of events and made it sound like implied Erika was either airborne or I would say it just implies that she's airborne when she got the news because Elizabeth McCoy posted this on her Instagram back in October. She wrote this. No one teaches you how to comfort a woman on a plane who only moments before became a widow on her way to face the reality of her husband's assassination. Moments before Now you're comforting her. It sounds like Erika's on a plane. So that was the story until the story changed. And
I don't know that the story changed, Candace. I haven't seen any evidence that the story did change.
now it's, Erika knew before she got on the plane. The plane came later. Ladies and gentlemen, there are just too many inconsistencies in this.
Think about the time we've wasted on talking about, like, oh, did she know before she got on the plane or after? This is all the evidence she has left, guys. This is it. This is scraping the bottom of the barrel. Now it's literally, like, going to be checking to see, you know what I mean? Like, if she had actually filled up her tank that day or not in her car. If she can't remember if she filled up her tank or not, that's going to prove that he was definitely assassinated. Because how do you forget waiting in a gas station line? That's where we're going. This is so bottom of the barrel, it's embarrassing. It's really genuinely pathetic. It sucks, but whatever. Anyway, guys, anybody new here? Anybody new here in the chat? If you guys are new, please give me a subscribe and a like. That's all I ask for. Let's jump right on back into this. And, I feel like I'm going to get, like, I feel like she's going to come out of the screen. You know what I mean?
Story. There are too many. It is a nonsense for people to ignore the cascade of inconsistencies in the days leading up to the assassination, in the immediate commentary that Erika gave to the New York Times reporter. Everybody grieves differently. Oh, I was wrong on that. Oh, I can't really recall what he did the night before. There was other little details that she brings up in the New York Times that seems slightly adjusted, like the night before. Later on, when she's with Jesse Waters, the big thing is Gigi. New York Times article, there's like not really a mention of, there's not a mention of Gigi at all in the night before, where Charlie's snacking and waking people up the night before. She also slightly adjusts in the New York Times article.
Yeah, he could have literally, when he went on his walk and put his game on pause and then started replaying it at night, maybe he shouted at the TV and woke up Gigi. Never once thought of that possibility. She never once thinks of that. And it's very obvious that's more than likely what happened.
When she says that she heard him like close the door when he left, but then later on, we're going to hear that she saw him grab his necklace and put it around his, like, okay, so did you see him?
She's wearing a $575 sweater. This is a $500 sweater. This thing right here, I got from Ross for like $19.99. It's got this cool little shark. Part of it is invisible because it's green, and I have a green screen on. So, there's that. But yeah, I think it was like $19. What is wrong with people? You aren't gonna catch me wearing $500 shirts, even in like a suit. It ain't gonna be a $500 shirt that's under it. That is crazy. Like, that is unbelievable amounts of money for no reason. What a wild thing to have on. That's one of the ugliest things I think I've ever seen too on a shirt. It's so weird. Like I said, this is like her E. coli shirt or something.
Or did you just hear him close the door? You have to go back to the beginning when you do an investigation, because so much transpires and you have so much more information. We're 6 months removed and we have so much more information at our fingertips. And it's time that we go back to the beginning and we recognize that this isn't right. This is not right. And guess what? Andrew Colvett is growing increasingly angry, which I think is another sign that we are getting very close. He was really angry. You could tell about Drewski, a comedian who dropped a video about Erika Kirk that has gone absolutely viral. I'm going to show you that video when we get back.
So that's what we're at now? Okay. So now we went from literally nothing again, nothing burger episode, directly to now we're going to watch a parody. Oh, that's so fun.
Or the one official. So, if back and addicted, so helping better American jobs with the customers. I love Pure Talk's service. They give you the same towers, the same net.com to plan things too perfectly, right? It's too perfect. It doesn't account for humanity. That was what I initially.
Oh, you guys coming from Jay Witt? Oh, nice. Heck yeah, guys. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you guys so much.
They started
Jay Witt's the
recognizing
man.
what was wrong with
He's awesome.
Erika and her responses. It's so perfect. She just found the courage to
We need to do a live stream
forgive
together
someone who
sometime.
hadn't even pled guilty,
That's what we
hadn't
need to
even
do.
entered in a plea of guilty. But she forgave him. Didn't want to hear anything he had to say. I forgave him. It's over. That's so perfect. She gets to the hospital, and what's the story?
Oh, my email is so if you go to here, hold on. Go to YouTube here. So if you go to here in my email and under Artie Trolls here and just click here for business inquiries, my email pops up right here. It's arthemessiayoutube@yahoo.com. ARTHEMESIA@yahoo.com. Can I copy this? Yep. I'll just go ahead and I'll put it in the chat here. There you go. You guys can also follow me here on X at Artie Trolls. Get me to 1,000 followers. That'd be super sick. I'd absolutely love that. If you guys want to. Like and subscribe is all I ask for, really. That's really it. And yeah, we'll come right back into this here.
They tell? Well, she just took a page out of Jackie Kennedy's book when Jackie Kennedy didn't take off her blood-soaked outfit, and she said she wanted people to see what they did to her husband. That's exactly almost verbatim what Erika said, that she said when she got to the hospital, right? I want to see what they did to my husband. It's like they planned for everything to be so profound, right? So profound. And guess what?
It is profound, though. Is it not? Is Candace saying this isn't profound? Like, that's kind of it's a heck of a claim. All right.
That's not how human beings operate.
Okay.
You're a mess. Right? We're sloppy. We're messy. You're angry. They forgot to account for real human emotions when they planned what feels like an AI response. They forgot that they shouldn't be like joyful at a memorial, geofencing people. Maybe not now, right? Hey, maybe not doing the Zoom call.
Hey, thank you, Anna. I appreciate that. That's nice of you to do.
Couple of days after, maybe not New York. I don't think a widow would do that. People
Yeah, we need to collab with Jay
recognize
Witt.
all
That's
across
what
the
hey, Jay Witt,
world.
you're in here. Heck yeah, man. We need to do a stream together. We need to just, go online together at some point and just have some fun. I think we could have some fun watching some of these. We should do that. Thank you all so much for coming here, and thank you for that shout out, Jay. Man, I really appreciate it.
That something's not right with Erika Kirk. And your best guess, if you were, just trying to extend the most
Man,
rope
she
to
is
her,
just
you
going
would
to keep rambling on about her opinions, isn't she?
say, maybe she didn't love him. Maybe she just didn't love him. She didn't even like the guy. They're fighting in the end, and that's why she's just like, okay, whatever, I don't care. We were on the rocks or something like
Wow,
that.
that's pretty
but if
messed
you were a
up
friend
to
of his,
say.
you'd be reacting differently.
That's pretty messed up to say. She's just trying to provoke Erika at this point.
Everything's wrong. And that is why comedians have picked it up. Comedians like Tim Dillon, comedians like Joe Rogan, and like Drewski, who has dropped an absolute viral video kind of mocking more broadly conservative women. And sort of, look, I kind of picked up on it this year too, so I'm going to back him up here. But this sort of Christian grift, but it doesn't really feel like Christianity that we're looking at. Anyway, let me not do him. It would be a total lack of justice for me to try to explain to you the video. I'm sure you've seen it. It's been everywhere. Here is Drewski mocking conservative women, namely Erika Kirk.
Get on your feet, boy!
Oh. How is Candace going to play this without getting a copyright strike? I'll unmute it whenever. Here she goes.
Great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which
Speaking of not knowing how to do, literally speaking about not knowing how to do human emotion, the laugh it's just so fake.
we have to protect all men in America.
And breathe right into that mic for a laugh.
Especially all white men in America.
So good.
Those boys that we care about.
Hold on. I didn't want to miss that part.
We have to protect all men in America. Especially.
Let's see if she even laughs at the punchline whenever he looks.
all white men in America.
So good.
Those are the boys that we
I think she missed the entire punchline there of him looking.
care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes. Because they are the ones who matter most.
He's not laughing at any of the punchlines.
That black guy like didn't say a single word and so just takes away the entire scene. Just perfect faces that he's making behind him.
Okay, I'll give it to her. She laughed at the punchline there on that one. There we go. So at least there is that. I guess I can't give her too much crap on that one. Let's see here. Air Jeff, thank you for not letting me give my view to Candy. Yeah, absolutely. Candy EI. Man, I appreciate you being here. At least she laughed at the black guy part. But I wonder if she got the actual joke, though. Because it is funny, but it's the initial first one. When it goes back to him again the second time, okay, joke's already worn off. In my opinion on that part. The first one where he goes and looks over at her the moment dude mentions white, it's funny. The second time, it's less funny. And she laughed way harder, in my opinion, at that second one. Case closed. They don't call me the comedy Nazi for nothing.
This is how everybody's
Actually, they don't even call me
feeling.
that at all.
Everybody, for the first time, it's not left or right. It's like everyone's united
I couldn't get such a cool name if I tried.
in feeling this. It feels fake. It feels wrong. Tim Dillon called it out early. It feels like they just want our money and they're just going to keep saying the Lord and God and God and the Lord so we can't question things.
I mean, I don't... Why would that stop you from questioning things? I'm genuinely curious. Like, why would, just because they say Lord God and Lord and Jesus and all that stuff, why in the world would that at all make them think that you wouldn't question that? It doesn't even make any sense, Candace. Nobody's stopped you all from questioning. Nobody's tried to stop you guys from questioning. What they're getting tired of is your baseless accusations, saying that they betrayed him, they did this awful stuff to Charlie, and, you know, you're saying it was zero evidence. But anyway, all that aside, I don't know. Notice how she has to use comedy, though. Notice how she has to use comedy. Oh, the punchline itself is the moment that, like, he, like, mentions, like, white supremacy or whatever, and then the black dude, like, looks over, like, wait, what? You know what I mean? It's kind of like that, it falls in line with a comedy that I like, just in general, from, like, South Park. Like, whenever, Chef kind of comes to a realization, it's like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Like, what did I just... Like, a good example. Whenever the boys ask him for some very inappropriate advice, very highly inappropriate advice, and he gives it, and then they walk off, and he goes, wait a minute, what did I just do? Like, did I actually just tell these kids to do something, like, that crazy? You know, because he just wasn't paying attention. It just makes me laugh, you know? It's just humor like that. In this situation, dude wasn't paying attention, not listening to the speech, and then the moment white supremacy came up, he just snaps out of it and goes, wait, what? You know what I mean? It's funny in that sense. It can be applied to anything, though. It's not funny because it involves Erika Kirk. It's funny because it's a typical comedic trope that makes me laugh. That can be applied in any situation. That's the only part that I'm talking about, really, for that. Which she may have gotten. I don't know. Maybe she got it. I guess I can't knock her for not getting at least part of it because she pointed it out. So I was like, okay, fair enough, you know? But even so, she's using comedy to back her claim right now instead of actually providing proof. Think about that. Think about how serious of a person Candace Owens is when she's using Drewski's video to provide proof that this happened. See what I'm saying? It's a little silly. Her show's not serious.
Because it would just be, oh my God, it would be demonic, as they always say. It's demonic. It's evil. How dare you question a grieving widow? Like they are trying to use this idea of Christianity as a shield. And I was hinting on that again, removing Erika Kirk from the scenario. I was noticing all of these women that make videos. They're just catty. They're just influencers, but they try to find a Bible verse. It's like,
there is actually one part of the video that could be really funny, too. One part that could be funny, but he didn't show in the video, so I have to speculate in my head. Whenever he showed up as Erika Kirk in the Pilates class or whatever the crap he was doing, if he would have just shown up, not told these people at all what he was doing, and just started working out with them and messing up during the workouts and stuff, and they're like, what is this dude doing? and then left that place after filming it without ever telling them what he was doing, that would be pretty funny. I think that would be a funny situation in itself. How you would capture that and show it on camera is another thing, but that's just kind of like, I hope that happened. Other than that, I didn't really find it to be that funny. I don't know. It was just him acting like a Valley Girl. I think that's pretty much an overdone trope. I think that's what literally most like late night shows do anyway. Like most late night show dudes end up falling into that Valley Girl accent and mocking something. Just overdone. There's not really a way you could do it anymore and make me laugh. Valley Girl just doesn't make me laugh at all, and that's most of Drewski's video in general. So it's just off-putting anyway for me. On top of it not being about a very funny subject. You know? It just kind of stinks. There was a couple aspects of comedy that were in the video that I thought were funny that are completely and totally unrelated to Erika Kirk, though, but... that, you know, like 2 zingers. Well, it's 1.5. It depends if it happens that way. Jay Witt ended up saying, most of Drewski's skits aren't funny. So, I actually don't watch Drewski. I have no idea. I watch Shane Gillis a lot, and I listen to, this dude makes me laugh. Not Stephen Hyde. That's from That 70s Show. Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde is very, very funny. I like watching his stuff. Drewski, no idea. Never actually watched his stuff.
I'm not actually, Caddy. This is the Bible verse, and I can tell you why I don't. Yeah, I'm not. It's not that I dislike this person. I'm just objectively telling you why you should dislike this person. But I'm using a Bible verse. Stop doing that. Just stop doing that.
When has Erika done that? That's a wild claim. Okay,
authentic, and people are seeing this for what it is. And I'm glad that this has gone absolutely viral. And some of the responses have been amazing. First and foremost, Grok, who apparently didn't wear his glasses today, and he accidentally. Someone said, Grok, who is this? And Grok replied and said, that's Erika Kirk. The actress and comedian starring in Drewski's satirical skit. So he thinks Erika Kirk starred in the skit, which is hilarious.
Wow, that's very funny that Grok got a little bit confused on that. Just slightly. Literally, that's Erika Kirk, the actress comedian starring in Drewski's satirical skit. It would have been funnier if it was like, that's Erika Kirk and stop there. She would have had something to kind of laugh about. But Grok gets like 99% of it correct, and it just got a little detail confused. They're like, ha, that's very funny. And it's like, that's actually not as funny. I don't know. That just takes all that sucks any kind of funny that could have been about this right out of it.
Hilarious. So very, very funny. And then you can, of course, expect all of the Israel firsters who have been defending her, which has been very weird. Immediately that the Israel firsters are defending her.
It's not weird. Like, there's obviously going to be 2 sides to a story, and there's going to be people on each side defending no matter what happens. That's always going to take place. So it's not. Last thing, I don't find it weird that people defend you. I find it disappointing when people defend you, Candace. I don't think it's weird though per se, because I mean it was going to happen. Whether it was like 10,000 people or whether it was like a couple million people, it was going to happen.
Clue, another data point. They were going to be upset. Ted Cruz tweeted that this was beneath
contempt. Oh, Grok
contempt.
said it was MTG as well. Now, that's very funny, actually. That's very funny. Like I said, it would have been funnier if it did just say it was Erika, but it's a little less funny because he's trying to look like a version of Erika, right? So it's like kind of obvious. And comedy really is just subverting your expectations. You know what I mean? It coming out and saying it was MTG is hilarious because I never would have expected that, and that's actually incredibly hilarious to me. So I do like that. I'm going to have to find that. Please send me that. That's very funny.
Whenever you are describing a comedian as beneath contempt, you're probably losing. Yeah, it's funny. It's objectively funny.
Yeah, I'm not Israel first either.
And I have always had this stance, by the way. But the pettiest person who came in, the person who was most upset by this, is Andrew Colvett. Look what Andrew Colvett commented.
I thought he made a very funny joke. Now do conservative black women. I thought that was a very funny thing to say in response to that. I laughed. That is a very funny response. If he would have came at this, you know what I mean? If he would have came slamming in there, going, this is awful and how dare you, probably wouldn't have made him look as good. But instead he goes, now do conservative black women. That's a very funny, retort to that, in my opinion. And Drewski might. He is the kind of guy that would make fun of anybody and everybody. if he goes and does that, if he does Candace Owens next, I'm not going to give this guy crap at all. If he only sticks with this and just doesn't do the other side at all, though, I'm going to, kind of think that that's disappointing and kind of sucks when comedians do stuff like that, you know what I mean? When they make everything only one-sided. It's not as much fun. South Park used to do both sides. Now look at them. Look at their new episodes. They suck. It's just all about anti-Trump. It stinks, Hey, Jay Witt. Have a great stream, Artie. Keep up the solid work and commentary, sir. Grace and peace. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, man. We got to get together sometime. Got to get together and have a good time. Let's see here. Jody, also, wow. Thank you so much for this. She has claimed to be Catholic for months when she isn't getting confirmed in the church until Easter. That's pretty sad. Yeah, it's weird. I find it weird that she hasn't been confirmed. And it's not just months. I think it's been 2 years since she got baptized, actually. If I remember right. So there is that. Pot meets kettle. Exactly. Good one on that. Heck yeah. South Park lost their way probably around season 10. No, it was much later than that. They, season 10, believe it or not, was, it's a lot earlier than you think. I think season 10 came out in 2005 or 2006? Let's see. Park season 10. You'd be surprised, actually. Was 2006. Crazy. 2006, season 10 came out. So I think they probably lost their way right around season 16? Is that right? No, season 16 was still good, actually. It had a lot of really good episodes. That was, oh my God, they had a lot of good episodes in that one. Yeah. Wow, because season 16 came out in 2012. That was just a year after I graduated. I would have been 19 when season 16 came out, guys. Crazy. They were cranking out seasons like crazy, though. I think they were doing like 2 seasons in a year, which is nuts. So that's probably why as well. Season 19 would have been 2014, 2015. Yeah, South Park's got a lot of... Their seasons are, they're pretty far into their season, Pretty crazy. South Park's like, is like Kyle's mom, yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy. Crazy good stuff. Hey, Storm Girl. Thank you. Thank you for another great show. Yeah, Candy, she's pretty gross. She's pretty gross.
Now do conservative black women. Guys, I think he's referring to me. I don't know, but I feel like he is referring to me. Drewski, you have my permission. If you want to do a skit about me, that works. Since I started my career. Like, I've been on Saturday Night Live. They made fun of me. Dave Chappelle did a skit about me. My response was, this is funny. It's cool.
Yes, Candace, I look, I understand that you're like, hey, skits are funny. I get it. I understand. The difference is nobody shot your husband and nobody started making fun of you for it, So try to understand people's outrage too. I am in the middle on both, okay? I'm not a person who really likes to cross the line on comedy. Comedy, most things are just off limits. You know what I mean? Or not off limits. Most things are not off limits. There are a few things that I think really are genuinely off limits, and that's whenever you start making fun of people who had something tragic happen to them. If you start making fun of Charlie Kirk for his incident, I think that's really distasteful. It's never going to make me laugh. It's a line that I'm never going to support, and I'm probably going to call out, But when it comes to, someone near him, like Erika Kirk, it's like, okay, there may be ways to do it that are funny. I didn't find this one to be funny. I didn't. Nothing about directly involving Erika Kirk herself in the skit made me laugh whatsoever. The thought of him, invading these, women's Pilates classes and just being weird, that's funny to me. Has nothing to do with Erika, though. And the fact that the black guy was looking over at the racism comment like he snapped out of his confusion was funny to me. But again, that can be anywhere. That could be on the street. It could be with any person. That's going to make me laugh. Nothing directly about the Erika Kirk, anything related with Erika Kirk. Just didn't find it to be funny because I have a lot of sympathy for her. And I'm like, man, it makes me sad. Now people are kind of making fun of her for it. You know what I mean? Now, of course, this would definitely be funny if Erika Kirk was indeed guilty. That turned out to be the case. Yeah, maybe that makes it funnier. I'll have to rewatch it at that point in time, and because I can't really put myself in that headspace. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm going to be too angry if I found out that Erika Kirk actually did do it. I feel like I'm going to be way too angry to even enjoy the comedy aspect at that point. Because that's, that would be messed up, obviously. I don't know that it would be a while before I could accept that joke, you know what I mean? It'd have to be a while. In double standard is crazy. People lose their minds about blackface. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That is very, I appreciate that, Nikki. Thank you. Tiger Lily, she's willing to fabricate fake stories just because the cease and desist made her mad. Yeah, that's probably what's happening. I can't confirm that, of course. So there's that. But I'd believe it, It seems like something Candace would do, without a doubt.
It's legendary that Dave Chappelle knows my name. You want to know why you're mad? Because you're guilty. Your conscience is bothering you. You're angry that you have so much money. You guys have so much money, so much.
He never said he was mad. He made a joke. He made a joke in response to the joke. That was the best possible response Andrew Colvett could have made. That was a great response by him. I don't know. I think Andrew Colvett did a very, very good job handling that. He handled it exactly the way that I would have handled that. Making a joke back at her. You know what I mean?
Influence, so much power to the White House. You can get Scott Besson to issue a letter and say Turning Point is in great financial standing. Imagine having that much power, but actually no influence. That many resources, but that spend it on these influencers. Everyone can see it's inorganic because we're all feeling the same about Erika Kirk. He's big mad because he's getting exposed and the walls are closing in. That's my opinion. And one area.
I'll provide proof.
Area of interest, by the way, which I want you guys to pay attention to because I think this could be something, and I'll briefly run you through it, but obviously Fort Huachuca, like I said at the top, it was very obvious that this was a trigger. Andrew was feeding information to like obscure podcasters, trying to get them to attack us over Fort Huachuca, as opposed to them being like interested. Again, they keep forgetting how they're supposed to.
I'm interested if you have proof, Candace. It's that simple. Like, why is that so hard to understand? Why aren't they interested in this story that we can't corroborate? It's because you can't corroborate it. That's why. Show me proof that Fort Huachuca happened. I'll be right on your side, Candace. You haven't been able to do that, though. Like, what do you want me to do about that? I'm not going to sit here and just believe you. For what? Like, you don't even know if it happened or not. You don't have proof. You're just trusting Mitch Snow. That's it. You know?
To act like you should reach out to me and be like, hey, I saw your podcast, Candace. They think they saw Brian Harpole? That's crazy. Can you just like connect me so I can see if he was there? No, they're like, attack her. They're all crazy. Some fort, said Andrew. What fort? Some fort. Erika wasn't at some fort. Well, what was Mitch's story?
Yeah, she's calling Gary an obscure podcaster. That makes her feel good, you know? That makes her feel real nice and good. You know what I mean? It's silly. Let her, punch down. She feels like a big, bad, tough woman punching down on other people. Whatever. Don't give her the time of day. It doesn't matter.
The substance of it was that he saw Brian Harpole at Fort Huachuca. He felt he was almost certain that he saw Brian Harpole at a meeting that was concluding on September 9th, the day before Charlie was assassinated, early in the morning. Erika then denied that story pretty aggressively, I would say. That's what began the tour that led to the infamous stop, just stop moment. It's like they sent her out there to say, everyone just stop, when we mentioned Fort Huachuca. Well, Baron Coleman has a source who I have since confirmed who alerted him to the fact that there was another plane that is associated with Turning Point USA that is familiar with Fort Huachuca. And the
plane got to know Fort Huachuca? That's crazy. What a statement there, Candace. Oh, man. Amanda says, being here right now makes me feel less crazy. I think I get stuck in watching all the vile hatred for so long that it starts to rot my brain and starts to make me almost feel isolated. That's why a lot of the times, and especially I would love to go just full-time, like streaming, because it's a lot more fun to watch this with people and just be able to be like, okay, don't got to do this alone. I hate on like my days off. Whenever I have to watch the kids and I'm putting them to bed at night, I listen to Candace on Monday and Tuesday, and I got to do it by myself. And it sucks. It genuinely sucks. I try so hard to just, I'm just like, I don't know, in a box with her. It stinks. You know what I mean? But having you guys here, Oh, man, it makes it so much better. So thank you all so much for being here. Genuinely. You guys make this awesome. You make it a lot of fun.
Kind of the notes here are that on September 10th, that when Charlie was assassinated, this plane flew in the evening after Charlie's assassination. So they flew in the evening from Chicago. And then after Charlie's assassination on October 4th, that plane was in Fort Huachuca all day before it headed up to...
Okay. After Charlie was already gone, a plane came in from Chicago to Fort Huachuca. Okay. After? What do they need to do? Debrief themselves? I'm confused by this. What does that even mean? What? Oh, that's my green screen. That's all like that right there. It's sunlight coming in and blasting it. Hold on, let me fix my curtain. Yeah, what do you? You're who I'm talking to. What do you want? Don't step on my keyboard. What do you want? Yeah. Yeah, you're a stinker, boy. Watch out. I'm gonna close this up real quick. I'll play this real quick.
Kalispell, Montana, which was a stop, a familiar stop for the planes that were going from Texas that day. Very strange that Kalispell, Montana, Arizona, there just seemed to be a pattern in where these planes were going. And so Barron is starting to press the brakes on wanting to figure out whose plane this is. And I always want to share information because, you know, somebody out there might know something. And so here is Barron Coleman just explaining exactly what it is that he discovered very quickly.
This was a plane I was told from a TPUSA insider is frequently used by TPUSA. I was going through their stuff and I just wanted to look around the September 10th time.
He huffed and he puffed and signed an eviction notice. That's what happened with her hair.
Right. Because September 10th, this is the flight that I'm pretty sure had someone related to the Charlie Kirk takedown. This is September 10th, Chicago to Provo. It had previously been in Pierre. My guess is that Pierre to Chicago flight was a repositioning flight.
Not one single person could have flown out of Chicago, one of the biggest cities in the world, to Provo the day after or wherever. You know what I mean? It flew in from Provo. So not one single person on September 10th out of Chicago, one of the most packed cities, you know, in the United States for sure, to Utah. Yeah, never could have happened. Never. No, too much of a coincidence. Right there, right? Not one single time could there be a single person needing to go to Utah from Chicago.
It left Pierre, South Dakota at 2:40 p.m. It landed in Chicago at 4:06 p.m. Less than an hour later, it left for Provo, presumably, I presume, with Charlie Kirk's parents, but I can't state that with any degree of certainty, but I think so. I think so. Regardless, it was a TPUSA leg of this flight. And so I start looking through here and I start seeing stops that are pretty consistently TPUSA. And then I get to this weird flight here. This is Fort Huachuca.
Okay.
Atlanta to Fort Huachuca. It lands at 9:33 a.m. and it's there all day. It does not leave until 4:39 p.m.
Cool. This is like almost a month later. It goes to Fort Huachuca. Is there any proof whatsoever that this aircraft is associated with TPUSA at all? Oh, Diana Cooper says Candy's hairline is receding. I guess so. But you got to wear a wig.
Why is a plane frequently, I don't want to say exclusively used by TPUSA, but I want to say frequently used by TPUSA. Why is a plane used by TPUSA going to Fort Huachuca? The plane we were...
A month later? Yeah, I wonder who would have flown on that plane, though. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. This is a month later. We don't know if anybody from TPUSA was on that plane at all. Why not maybe show me something before, before September? Or before October in general? Probably preferably before Charlie got shot. Like, maybe show us anybody flying into Fort Huachuca then? I don't know. That's a month later. Do they own that plane? It's really... What a strange, like, conclusion to come to.
Looking at went to Fort Huachuca. The new plane went to Fort Huachuca on October 4th and then went to Kalispell. I am in the process of trying to figure out what the hell's going on in Kalispell. But the reason Kalispell draws my attention is it's in Montana. Kalispell is in Montana. It was in Montana after going to Fort Huachuca on October 4th. It was the following day, October 5th, when the security team, including Butch Hibbs, for some reason, random preacher's brother, is also there with them. I cannot put out of my head that there's a connection here. I just cannot get out of my head that there's a connection.
Why? You don't know if there is a connection at all or not, but you just believe it to be so. Like, even if they were right, like, why in the world would you just be like, I'm just going to will it into, just going to try and will it in. This has to be right. It just has to be. It's like it's a very, very weird thing to do, right? Like, they really do just want this to be exactly the way they think about it. You know what I mean? All these puzzle pieces have to fit. They're like, this has to be a crazy piece. And they try to force it in there until finally it gets completely debunked. You know what I mean? And that's what'll happen. This detail will probably disappear into the ether. I bet they never figure out anything else about this and it just disappears. She just used this episode to literally, like, sow doubt into people's minds. That's really all it is.
There was a flight from Kalispell to Bozeman. Bozeman is where the guys met up to go to Fairy Lake the following day. So if you believe, as I do, that TPUSA people were on that flight that went to Fort White.
Why would you just believe that? That's a crazy thing to do. Well, I just believe that they're on that plane, Tim Pool once speculated that Candace female cods her claims. Female cods her claims? I don't know what that means. Sorry. But there are females against Candace and males for Candace. Is there anything I don't know about female coding? Not quite sure what you mean there, to be honest. I may have missed that.
Pachuca, and then went to Kalispell. There was a flight, a private plane flight, that went from Kalispell to Bozeman the next day.
That's cool. Prove to anybody from TPUSA was on that.
That's the day when everybody showed up and they had their security team retreat or something. I don't know what it was. Debrief? I don't know what they were doing there.
So I do want to issue just one correction to what he said. Definitively, Charlie's parents were not on that plane because J.D. Vance sent the Air Force to pick up Charlie's parents. And so Charlie's parents were definitively picked up by the vice presidents.
Right. So you have no clue who would have been on that plane whatsoever on that day. It just doesn't make sense. You can't prove that it was at all anything related to TPUSA. You're just hoping that it was. It's crazy. Hey, Edie. Always a great show. Thank you so much. And we all got to get another powwow together. Got to get in with Jay Witt and Gary from Paramount Tactical. Could all four get in there? Sorry, guys. I'm very tired tonight. I need sleep so bad. So bad. I am ready to just crash and have a beautiful morning tomorrow.
Plane on that day and then taken over. So was somebody else coming from Chicago that day where they sent the plane? It does seem to be that this plane could be, I shouldn't say definitively, but it's plausible that this plane is attached to their security apparatus. And so that's interesting. I show that only because in case you know any information about that tail number, what was that? Could you, just so I can say that again, what was the tail number? N289MM. I got to just see that again. Then you should definitely email Baron Coleman. You can also email us at moretips@CandaceOwens.com. If you freeze it, I can see that if you just want to bring up that.
At this point in time, Candace was pretty heavy in her accusations about, like, TPUSA betraying Charlie Kirk. She was pretty heavy in her accusations this time in October. So why would they even risk at that point, knowing that she was tearing into stuff? Because she brought up flight logs at this point in time. And she had them going until December when they completely crumbled and fell apart. So at the end of the day, it's kind of wild that they would use another plane to go straight to Fort Huachuca with all them on it or something. But here's the thing. Zero proof. Zero proof that anybody from TPUSA was on that plane at all.
Screen and not play it. I think he shows it right away. I just want to make sure I get that tail number right. Or have one of you guys tell me what that tail number is. I didn't write this down for some reason. Cool. Okay, I was really wrong. N582MM is that tail number.
Oh, yeah, Edie there and Jay Witt. Man, both of them, just absolutely phenomenal. You guys should definitely go follow both of them, too. Like, thank you all so much for being here. But, yeah, they do great content.
Number. Okay. Anyways, you guys, a lot going on. I should also mention that the Egyptian planes are back in town in Provo, just in time for Brigitte to be back in town in DC. It is interesting to recognize the patterns of these planes. I will have a lot more to say about that. I just kind of wait and reel these people in nice and slowly. We are not done. I can tell you guys, we are not done with the Egyptian planes. We will.
At some point, maybe she'll post the files like she promised. Hopefully. But she claims we're not done with them. I just don't believe it.
Take a brief break, and I'll be back to read some of your comments.
Oh, so we're going straight to comments after this. All right, let's get through her garbage sellouts here. Let's see here. We'll go to our first comment. Why not? We'll have some fun with this.
Top comments from last episode. Me Too writes, if they protected Charlie before September 10th as much as they protect Erika after September 10th, he might still be alive. That is so true. And she's just in a bubble and not allowed to speak to people, obviously. Like I said.
How would that even be close to true?
Truth just doesn't fear introspection.
Even if Erika, like, literally planned his entire murder, like, that couldn't happen that way. That doesn't make any sense. What, if people online were defending Charlie as much as they were for Erika, Charlie would still be alive? No, even in your scenario, it still wouldn't work that way. That's completely stupid.
Like, to be inspected, you can just go sit down, do a podcast, speak to people, answer questions, put things to bed. And people can see the money they're spending, right? People don't like feeling as though there are others in the world who think that they can simply pay to edit their opinions, right? They don't have to face up anything. They don't have to speak to anybody. I'm just going to pay a bunch of influencers to say something and to attack anybody who criticizes somebody. There's something.
Nope. Absolutely not. It'd be nice if I was getting paid, but I'm not. You are full of crap, Candace. I think Candace is getting paid. I'm absolutely not getting paid. I can prove it. I would even show Candace. I'll show you my bank account if you show me yours, Candace. How about that? And we could both make it public. How about that? We'll see. You could post we could question each other about anything that is charged or put into my account, period. And you get to do the same for me. We'll make a nice itemized list. How about that? And we'll see who's getting paid. Because I'm willing to bet I would find proof Candace is getting paid before she finds out any kind of proof that I'm getting paid. That's 1,000,000% factual. Absolutely factual. Yeah, no, I'm not getting paid. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. I must be the only one that is on this side of the aisle that's not getting paid. I must be a big old stinky idiot, huh? Just, Candace, you're so full of crap, and it would be so easy to literally prove you wrong in person. I would gladly swap bank account information with you. You know, gladly. I guarantee you she would never do such a thing. I would absolutely do it. But anyway.
Very, like, let them eat cake about that, right? Let them eat cake. I'm not going to come down and speak to anybody. We're just going to pay for aggressive PR campaigns and every single day. I mean, the attacks that I've endured, it's so crazy. It is just, I can't even blink. And there's another attack. First, they started with, like, I was so in love. I retweeted one of these today. I was so in love with Charlie Kirk, and that's why I'm just so angry because he picked Erika. Yesterday, they were really saying that I was a lesbian.
Man, did you see her eyes flutter that weird way after she said that, too? That's a weird tell. That's also a thing when you flutter your eyes that you're lying.
Pay for aggressive PR campaigns and every single day. I mean, the attacks that I've endured, it's so crazy. It is just, I can't even blink. And there's another attack.
I can't even blink.
First, they started with, like, I was so in love. I retweeted one of these today. I was so in love with Charlie Kirk, and that's why I'm just so angry because he picked Erika. Yesterday, they were really saying that I was a
The weird thing people do whenever they start lying.
lesbian. So like, oh, okay, it can't be both, guys. It can't be. Was I actually in love with Erika? Was I sad that Charlie got Erika? Like, they have no argument anymore. They just smear. They just name call Rabbi Walicki.
What do you
I
mean?
mean, their attacks against Joe Kent. It is so obvious that was a campaign. That's calling him a traitor.
No, it's literally not a campaign. I think if dude was leaking text messages to you involving the investigation, I genuinely think that that's probably a crime, Candace, and I don't think that's okay. I don't think that's okay for somebody to do. If that gets proven, yeah, I think he does need to actually face jail time. That's a serious crime. You can't do that. So, yeah, I would call him a traitor if that's the case, Candace. And it's looking very likely. That's the scary thing about it. We're going to end up finding out. And for you to sit here and act shocked about that at all is completely ridiculous. I wouldn't agree with that ever in any kind of ongoing case, Candace. There's an ongoing case happening. You can't just leak information that will taint a jury pool. You can't do that. If you end up getting us into a hung jury, I'm gonna completely blame Candace for it. If there is a hung jury on the Tyler Robinson case, and there's more than enough evidence to prove that Tyler Robinson did it, and we're gonna watch the case. We're gonna see if there's enough evidence to prove or not. There might not be, you know. And then if a hung jury happens in that regard, I guess that would be fine. So, but at the end of the day, if there is more than enough evidence to prove he did it, and there's still a hung jury, I'm gonna blame Candace. I'm gonna be like, she interfered with this. It was a slam dunk case, and then it turned out to get the wrong people on the jury. That's gonna suck.
Because they're so angry that a text message got out, and Andrew believes that he gave it to Joe Kent, and maybe Joe Kent sent it around to other people and it made the rounds, but Andrew told everybody about that text message. Everybody, including myself, about that text message. So they're just angry that they're not in control of the narrative, and the only way they're ever going to get back in control of the narrative is to tell the truth. Just tell the truth. People can handle that. They can handle you sitting down and telling them the truth about something, unless there's a huge reason you don't want to do that. And I think there is a huge reason that you guys don't want to do that, right? I think this entire situation stinks to high.
She's just ranting. Like, ranting for nothing. Good pause game.
He does, and I find it to be very weird and very creepy. Mikey McCoy, I don't know if he has a place in there, him and Elizabeth, but they are there all the time because I have sources that live in the building, obviously. Like every single day, they are there. And they are working, they all work in like the community center there. And everyone finds it to be very creepy. It's like, what is this kid who's like, 22 years old, just kind of slid right into Charlie's chair right after and was doing interviews from his office? Like, what wife would even want that kid in her husband's office doing interviews, moving things around, right? Moving things around in the office. That's insane to me that she would provide him that access. Again, the behavior is what people are noticing is not normal. It is the reaction and the behavior is not tracking with a grieving widow. And you can't just pay neocons to attack us to change our understanding that this...
Yeah, nobody paid any neocons to attack you. You guys are extremist left-wingers. It's very obvious. You defend Iran. You absolutely are coming out against MAGA entirely. Like, it's completely ridiculous. It's so transparent what you're doing. And you've never, ever, ever been on the right. Every single thing about Candace Owens from the very beginning was left-wing. And then she started pretending to be a right-winger and would burn down every institution that she would touch. Every single time. Like how constantly Candace tries to speak for everyone. I mean, that's just how she's always done. She's done this for over a decade now. It's crazy. It's nothing new with her. And I've been trying to warn people about Candace Owens for so freaking long. You know? For a long, long time. You guys could go back on my channel quite a bit and find my criticisms of Candace Owens and me absolutely saying she is a leftist in in sheep's clothing or whatever. Sheep's wool, whatever they say. She's a leftist in sheep's clothing. I mean, it's just that simple.
Circumstance is odd. Right? Everything that's happening is very odd. Okay, questions from today's episode, questions and comments, pardon me. Kelly Martin writes, I miss not knowing who Erika Kirk was. Yeah. Flame of Love Carmel writes, Catholics for Candace, thank you so much. James the Least writes, Baron Coleman crash out should be a regular feature of the show. I know, they're so good. He just has these little crash outs, but I feel him when he has it. It's me on
That's weird.
the inside,
really weird.
trying to stay calm. Cheryl writes, remember when Charlie was so excited and when South Park did him? That's so true. Charlie celebrated that and made fun of it because he wasn't doing anything wrong. It's like, okay, you noticed and you making fun of me, and great.
But Andrew Colvett didn't have a mean reply. What are you talking about? He made a very funny reply.
Now it's mainstream. I've become mainstream, and that was his perspective. You know, they're angry because there's something there that they recognize to be very true. And they also feel like they're not getting their bang for their PR buck. How could this be? We spend so much money on the hate Candace and hate Joe Kent and hate everybody else who's telling the truth about Charlie's opinions or whatever, or people that are just meaningfully trying to investigate, like Joe Kent. Crazy. Cameron Byer writes, I just knew Candace would say something about Drewski, sending love and aloha to everyone from Hawaii.
Okay.
Aloha.
Maybe we should be able to work something out.
UFO writes, Andrew Cole.
Depends if he wants to. But yeah, I'd be down.
That ha 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 ha. Yeah, he's big mad. Go after black conservatives. Who's he talking about? Just say it. I want Andrew to just come on the show, man. I just want him to come on the show. They're never going to come on the show. Rabbi's not going to come on the show. They all want to smear me, say things about me. Nobody wants to come on the show and discuss these things with me. If you believe,
Candace, you literally had an opportunity to do it and you turned it down. Nobody's going to try and get you on now at this point. After the way you've treated everybody, they literally invited you on December 15th and you said no. And now you expect them to come on now that you're calling him out. So you're like, oh, I'll have him on now. You wouldn't have him on then. You didn't want to go. You were too much of a coward.
Believed it, if you believed I got something wrong, and I may have along the way. But guess what? If I get something wrong, I will change it. I will say, upon more information, I realized that the theory that I put out is not correct. And here is how I know. I'm happy to make those edits. So why?
But what you're saying is crazy. What you're doing is insane, Candace. You're like, I'm going to make a crazy accusation. And then, literally, it's up to you to tell me that I'm wrong. Oh, 1 second. I got to let him in again. Alrighty. There we go.
I'd be stressed about what I am saying if you see me on the show changing
He's getting
things. Like when
antsy.
I got the
He wants
timeline
to run
wrong
around
with Nick
outside.
Shirley, and the very next day I said, oh, Nick Shirley contacted me, and I changed it.
Yeah, but that was messed up what you did to Nick Shirley. You called him fake. You said that he didn't do any of the accomplishments that he had done. You called him out. You came out swinging. You insulted the guy. He didn't have to give you the time of day at all. It was very nice that he did. And you had to make a very, very, very sorry apology about it. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic. That's what's going on. You are being paid to attack every single person that is MAGA. That's what's going on. That's what Candace is doing.
It's because you can't answer these questions. It's been 6 months. If you could answer these questions, you would. And why can't you answer the questions? I will leave it at that. I will let that be a rhetorical question. Why can't you come forward and answer all of these questions?
Nobody is obligated to answer your questions, Candace. And the way you go about things, it stinks. You're so rude. It's unbelievable. But anyway, I still love that. The eyeball and the... Oh, man. It's good stuff, Air Jeff. Man. Oh, man. Candace isn't debating anyone. Stop saying you'll debate people, Candace. Yeah, she's not going to debate anybody. I would debate her. I would debate Candace for sure. She wouldn't give me the time of day. There's no way, you know? I would just ask her for any evidence that she claims. I mean, it's just like, hey, what has Candace done? Yeah, what has Candace done? What has Erika done? You know, what's she done wrong? Oh, this. Okay, can you show me definitive proof? And she would say no. She would say no, she can't. And then she would get mad and call me names. That's how that debate would go. It's exactly what would happen. So, she won't do it because she knows that's how it'll go down. That's why she won't debate anybody at all. Diana Cooper saying smart people are in the extreme minority. That is true. That is true. Absolutely. Without a doubt. I am definitely part of the majority, probably. I'd say I'm average. When it comes to musical theory, maybe something there. But, I'm smart in musical theory. Not a musical theory genius. That's not the case. But smart in musical theory, for sure. Anna says, was she implying Andrew was talking about her when he told Drewski to do a black conservative? Impossible. She's not conservative. She's just a narcissist. I absolutely agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, man. Just crazy. Yeah, why should we prove it? She has to. Yeah, I absolutely agreed. That's how it works, It's absolutely how it works. We are not obligated to prove Candace's claims. She is obligated to prove her claim. So, Candace could have just been out reporting the stuff Nick is reporting, but she's just jealous. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the case. Piers Morgan, of all people, made Candace look stupid when he debated her. Yeah, it was great. He actually did a decent job. It was crazy to see. Actually did a decent job. Sucks that Piers Morgan is less desirable in debating in general. He does it badly. But when he has one-on-ones, I like his one-on-ones. I don't like whenever he has like 7 people on screaming at each other. That's really annoying to me. Oh, Jody. Catholics for Catholics is not an official group recognized by the Catholic Church. Really? Or in the USCCB? It's a non-profit incorporated in Arizona in 2022. Interesting. I didn't know that. Hold on. Is for by the I wonder. That's crazy. I'm just going to ask Grok about that real quick. No, it's not supported or endorsed by Catholic Church. It is an independent 501c4. Ah. Interesting. Now, I don't know if that means anything. Can you be considered Catholic if you don't have approval from the Catholic Church? Is that a possibility to do? That's a very interesting fact. Huh. Wow. That's fascinating. I'll pull it up too real quick because that's a little nuts, No, it's not supported or endorsed by the Catholic Church. Why it's not officially supported? The Catholic Church, though, the Holy See Diocese, or the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, USCCB, does not officially endorse responsible political advocacy groups like this one. So this is a political group, I see. The church generally avoids endorsing specific political organizations. Well. Huh. Okay. Associated with traditionalist or fringe elements. Media coverage sometimes describes it as nationalist or aligned with more conservative traditionalist voices. Okay, interesting. I don't know. Are there any Democrats that fund this? I'm curious. No PACs or anything. Okay. Huh. I don't know. Definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting. I could say that at a bare minimum. You know what I mean? It is definitely interesting. So, I don't know. A 501c4 is a social welfare organization that can engage in much more lobbying and political activity, but donations to it are not tax deductible. Oh, okay. Huh. That's an interesting thing to know. Let's see. I don't know what other angle to look up stuff for the Catholics for Catholics people. I don't know what other question I'd want to ask it. I think I'm kind of at a dead end with that. But I'm fascinated. I want to know who runs it and who, what is the, what's the angle that they're going at? You know what I mean? Or are they just like, hey, we want to be Catholic, but we want to be political too? And the Catholic Church just be like, no. And they're like, well, we'll still hold all the traditions. Maybe it is something that they're trying to do good with. I don't know. But it is an interesting fact. I appreciate you bringing it to my attention because now I can get some ideas later on and kind of poke around and look at things maybe it'll lead somewhere. That'll be interesting. Oh, Anna, you getting off? Is it? Oh, my computer's fixed to crash again. Yay. Probably if I do this, get better. Oh, it's making it worse. Maybe it's this. And do that. I'm gonna go here. Close out of everything here. What was this? Oh, Candace Owens teases Charlie Kirk murder breakthrough after 200 days. Oh yeah, so Milk Bar. This is great. I love this. For 200 days, she says we're getting close. It's so funny. It's like playing Living on a Prayer like on a loop. Eventually they're gonna get eventually you hope they get more than halfway there. That's what I was trying to say.
Getting close to something, keep going, and we are definitively getting closer
quiet.
to what took place on that day, and we are getting closer. I think we're close. We are definitively getting closer. We're getting close. We're getting close.
This is
Very
just amazing.
close. We're inching ever closer. We are now, I believe, extremely close to solving this thing. As I get inch closer and closer to
Man, she definitely goes in inches, huh?
discovering the truth, I've got a feeling about that. We're close. We're getting closer to something, and that something is pretty big. It just...
That's awesome. I can't believe the timing. We're talking about inches and then just...
pretty big. It just sounds that was something, and that something is about that. We're close. We're getting closer to something, and that something is pretty big. It just
great
sense
timing.
that we're getting close. I sense that we are getting very close, and we are getting closer. We're getting very close to something. We're getting closer because we are getting close. We are definitely getting closer. Very close. We are very close. We are close. We are dangerously close to something. We are dead close to something. And I think every day we are inching closer to who killed Charlie Kirk. You know we're getting close. We're inching ever closer. We are inching closer, a little closer to solving the Charlie Kirk murder. And I'm getting very close. And we are getting very...
Oh, man, that's just great. People should be following Nathan, for sure. Milk Bar TV. That's such a great, great clip. I love this so much. He definitely deserves the credit. What a great edit. What a great edit, for sure. Already could body Candace in a debate, too. I would think so. I would hope so. I don't have a whole lot of work I have to do. That's the best part about it. Because in a debate, all I would do is just ask her simply for proof. Just, okay, do you have any proof to back that, though? Like, it's really that simple. So, I don't know. But anyway, guys, I'm going to have to probably go ahead and cut this one here. I have to get off a little early. I got to be up super duper early in the morning, and it's going to suck. So, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for the... Oh, well, did my stream completely crash? Hold on. Uh-oh. Nope, it's good. Okay. Oh, thank God. That would have sucked if it just cut it off right there. That would have been terrible. But anyway, guys, I'm going to have to hop off here. I'm going to thank everybody who donated, though, for sure. Kiwi, thank you so much. Air Jeff. Jay Witt, of course. Legend, Jay Witt. For sure. He's a legend. That guy's awesome. Jody. Diana. Diana again. Edie. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Edie. Like, your content is hilarious. I absolutely love it. Anna Osley and Jody. Thank you all so much for being here. If hopefully we don't have an incident like yesterday where somebody literally just donates right when I turn the stream off. It's like, no, I can't prepare for that. You know what I mean? They need to have like a little off switch, like right next to the stream button so I could turn off monetization right then. Like for this little rant, I should just be allowed to turn it off at that point or something. You know? That way, nothing like that happened. I felt bad. I posted it on my post. I was like, hey, I'm so sorry I missed this. But yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen here again. So no more donations. I genuinely appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys. You all have made this just an amazing experience. And I really can't thank you all enough. But anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep now. You all have a good night, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.